Will this be the best Super Bowl in the last decade, Kyle? What do you think over there?
Nope.
He's saying no. All right. Well, we're going to refresh you folks as we've had some doozies over the last 10 years. 2017, New England Patriots 34, Falcons 28 in that wild overtime comeback thriller. Do you remember that one?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Poor
man.
Matty Ice. He finally makes it there, has that wonderful first half performance,
28 to 3.
and then Timmy Brady makes that epic comeback just to spoil it for him.
Dude, that was a wild one. 2023, Chiefs 38, Eagles 35 in a back and forth game that decided by a last minute field goal. That was another epic one. And then in 2024, Chiefs 49ers overtime thriller as well. There has been a lot of good games over the past 10 years, folks. We hope that this one is as well. Most importantly, welcome back to the Fantasy Football Channel. Today, we are breaking down the Patriots versus the Seahawks for all the marbles, the Mac Daddy, if you will, for a trip to Disney World. It's the Super Bowl. Kyle, we've had some winter this week. Do you have power? Do you have electricity? Is your house frozen over?
Winter has come.
You got to love
Uh,
that late January.
Winter has come. It's still 0 degrees. It was negative whatever this morning when I left the house. And honestly, though, it actually feels tolerable. Like it feels kind of warm because it was like negative 40 degrees. And I didn't want like any of my skin out there showing when that wind blew. So this week it doesn't feel too bad, but
All
it
right.
is very cold. What's going on in Nashville? Are there
Man,
any eggs left in the grocery stores?
there are not. The difference between 600 miles between us and the reaction between a little bit of cold weather and winter storm literally blows my effing mind. We did get a lot of ice, but the city has been shut down. No one goes to work this week. Grocery stores shut down. Grocery stores are cleared out. Like it is like Armageddon when it snowfalls in the south, and it just blows my mind. But anyhow, it's getting better now.
All right, we're gonna get into talking about the Super Bowl this
Yeah,
week.
buddy.
Um, how bad will this halftime show here be? Let's see. Bad Bunny, as the boomers and the Xers may be up in arms revolting this show. Apparently, this guy doesn't really do English very well. So this could be a fun one, folks.
Oh, that was amazing. That was amazing.
Adam, I
Yeah.
got a couple questions for you.
Oh God.
Do you think Mike McDonald has been practicing goal line plays all week and just handing it off?
He called up Marshawn Lynch and he said, "Hey man, we're gonna need you back. We're gonna need you. We're gonna need you
Shot at
back
redemption.
so we can do this one right." That or Marshawn called up Ken Walker and said, "If they call a pass play, you just take the fucking ball and run it."
Yeah. All right.
Uh,
So last time these two teams met in the Super Bowl, uh, it was a great game, actually. And of course, the classic Marshawn Lynch play where Seattle didn't hand it off and Russell Wilson threw an interception on the goal line for the Patriots to win the game. And then additionally, another drama from that one was the halftime show with Katy Perry. And apparently there was a dancing shark that did some ad-lib stuff and it went pretty viral. So, what can we expect from this halftime show? What can we expect from this game? Well, it's in Santa Clara, California. The 14-3 Seattle Seahawks take on the 14-3 New England Patriots. And what's your bet, Adam? What do you got here?
well, bet analysis, yeah. But just to circle back on your point, there's gonna be a lot of older generation pissed off about this halftime show for sure, which is gonna be fun to see reactions to. But yeah, let's dive right into the betting analysis. The spread is -4.5 points for the Seattle Seahawks. They are favored by 4.5. Over under is at 45.5 for the total. Um, I'm going to go out on a limb and go right here and say it. I am taking the Patriots +4.5. I like the points with that because it covers for the field goal. And I'm also going to take the under due to how well these defenses have played. So that's my initial kind of breakdown of that. However, this offensive line for the Patriots has me worried with how good this Seattle rush defense is, with how well they can rush the passer, and how many times Drake May's been hit this year. That is a concern. But nonetheless, I'm taking the Patriots to continue this win streak and at least cover the spread for us. Kyle, who you got before I talk about ChatGPT's picks?
Yeah, I mean, last time we were on, we both called Patriots making it. I had the Rams making. I think you did too. What a game last week. And honestly, that was the final game for me where it's like Verst and Young and the Rams defense didn't get to Darnold enough. And Darnold looked good once again.
He looked
So
good.
this is the one game all year, watch him fold. But it feels like he's kind of battled his demons and his previous attempts at choking in the playoffs. That with Seattle, with these coaches, with this team, it feels like he's overcome it. So he is been really good. Not, not as good, honestly, not as good as Stafford probably, but the defense around him and the team around him was better than the Rams delivered. So, I think he can still do enough. So I see why the Hawks are favored here. However, I still think it'll be a close game. So, I would default to the Seahawks winning. Betting, I would probably take the Patriots plus 4.5.
Okay. Yeah.
I could see it. I could see the Seahawks winning by 3. If I'm making a prediction, that's what it would be.
Okay. I like it. I like it a lot. Over under. Did you say on that? 45 and a half? You want me to give you a second? I'll give you a second
I'm
while you
gonna
think
say
on
I
that.
told you before when you asked me this on the phone the other day. I guessed at 44, so I guess that means I have to be on the under.
Yes, it does. Yes, a 20 to 24 game is what you're envisioning for Seattle.
Yeah,
Close enough.
21, yeah, somewhere in
Right.
that
All right.
20.5 to 23.5.
That'll work. That adds up, folks. No, I love it. Yeah, you're right in what you said about Sam Darnold. He showed up last week and he proved us wrong. We are the haters of him. We have been the
Yeah,
haters of him under pressure.
yeah.
He put up over 300 yards, no turnovers, 3 touchdowns. Dude looked phenomenal.
Mhm.
However, I am digging my feet into the sand one last time,
All
and I
right.
am saying this is the week that Mr. Sam Darnold folds under the pressure,
Mm.
and the Patriots and Mike Vrabel bring it back to New England. All
You
right, we
know,
go with that.
I would agree with that, but when I'm taking a lot from the Denver Patriots game, and Denver is, they're up there right with Seattle, top
Yeah,
two defenses and by a lot of metrics, right?
yep,
And I just didn't see enough from New England against that great defense. And going back, of course they also beat the Texans, right? So and the Texans win, that was a lot of positive field yardage and like where they flipped it and had closer to score drives. They didn't
yeah,
have to do a lot of 80 plus 80-ish yard drives to win that game and score. So to me, it wasn't enough to want to really believe in the Patriots coming up big. And they
sure.
only scored one touchdown last week, right?
Yeah, okay. Let me counter argue that a little bit. One, the entire game script changed when that snowfall hit, where all of a sudden it's
That's fair. It
a
did.
team needs to win this by 1 point. No team is no longer worried about scoring a touchdown. They're no longer worried about they need to win this game by 1 point. Both
Mhm.
coaches went into that mindset with how they called the plays, so on and so forth. The Patriots are going to have to run the ball with some success against Seattle if they want to win to help alleviate some of that pressure on Drake May. But circling back, I think the Broncos pass rush is better than Seattle's pass rush, and it's proven with they have more sacks than Seattle does. So although these defenses are very similar, and they're both amazing top 5 defenses, I think that the pass rush of Seattle isn't as good as Denver. So that's going to allow Drake May to be a little bit more mobile, a little bit better in that pocket to kind of get out of some of those murky areas. And more importantly, it's going to be in California. There's not going to be 4 inches of snow on the ground where you can't see in front of your face.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing that I'm having agreeing with you, right? So last week against Denver, say the second half doesn't turn, and it was mostly like toward the end of the third quarter, fourth quarter, turn into a blizzard. Maybe he scores one more touchdown through the air,
Yeah,
right?
and
But
that's enough to
still,
make it feel a little better, I think.
but still, with Seattle's offense, special teams, and everything that they have firing on all cylinders right now, I just can't bet against that.
Okay, fair enough. All right, we're going to keep
I
moving
think
here.
the Rams still have the best all-around offense in the NFL with running
Yeah,
and passing and quarterback and receivers, right?
yeah.
So I don't think New England's running backs are anywhere near Kyron and Corum and what the Rams have going on. And they struggled, right?
Yeah, but the Patriots have a little better defense and a little bit better, all more just balanced team where the wealth is kind of spread out. Not
I
everything's
mean,
on
I
Matt
thought the
Stafford.
Rams defense was also pretty good.
No, it showed some signs of weaknesses as the year. I think Patriots defense is better than the Rams defense, and that's going to be the difference in why they can keep this
Okay.
game a little closer. But ChatGPT finishing up the betting analysis overall, we asked them as we do every week about the picks. They picked Seattle -4.5, artificial intelligence, Seattle -4.5, and the under. And their main reason was because of the defense of Seattle.
So they're in exact agreement with me.
They are. They are.
Okay.
So that tells me you guys are both wrong. You guys don't know what the hell you're
I didn't
talking
even
about.
know. I didn't
All
even
right.
look. All
No,
right.
I know.
Keep
All
going.
right. So now we're going on to a fun one here. We're doing prop bets. We're going over some of the major prop bets for the Super Bowl weekend. We're going to start out with passing, receiving, and rushing. Just go over some of the main ones. First and foremost, Drake May over under passing yards is 222.5. Kyle, are you taking the over or under on Drake May's passing yards?
I'm going to take the over.
Okay. I am also going to take the over on that one, 222. Sam Darnold, 227 pass yards over under. Where are you leaning?
I'm taking the over. I think it'll be a little more success throwing than it will running for both teams.
Okay. I am going on a limb and taking the under on Sam Darnold's passing because I think this is the game that he gets pressure, he crumbles, and we see his old self resurface. On top of that, I'm going to follow up and say Sam Darnold to throw a pick is minus 140 odds. You can go ahead
I
and
think he's for sure throwing a pick.
tally that on the old bet slip
Yeah.
because that one's going in. Drake May to throw a pick is minus 120. He has turned the ball over quite a bit, so that one's not a bad one either. However, I wouldn't take that one just because
I would take Darnold. I don't think I'd take May.
All right, I love
For the
it.
pick.
So yep. No, I agree with you there. All right, we're aligned on that. Receiving, JSN, the big bad man himself, catching is at 6.5 receptions. So the over on that. Yeah, but the thing is, the over on that, the odds are minus 154, and so the under on that is like plus money. So if you're putting $100 in on his over, you're making way less money. But I agree with you. I also like the over on that.
I think he goes
got
over
7
that.
catches.
Yeah.
His receiving yards is at 93 yards over under. He's basically had 90 to 100 yards every week. So we'll take the over on that. This one's a little bit more realistic. Stephon Diggs over under is at 43.5 yards. I like the over on that as well.
I'm taking the over on that too.
You know, it's funny, Kyle. I didn't tell you this, but think about the Super Bowl before we get to the last segment of rushing. Oftentimes, these games fly by, and I feel like the unders on a lot of these hit because game scripts are thrown out the window of what they normally do. They're now just planning for 1 week. So we've been saying a lot of overs, but I just want to let the fans know that in reality, during the Super Bowl, a lot of unders do hit. That's why I hand-selected these ones because I like these ones more. And then the only one receiving-wise that we missed is Mac Hollins, who is returned last week and was getting targeted. His catch rate is at 2.5, so I do like the over on that one as well.
He was, and I don't hate it, but they spread the ball around so much. I don't have any confidence in that.
So when they spread, so that's a great way to take a couple under, receptions for people like that too, because they do spread it around so well. It's just don't get the guy who gets loaded up on targets. All right, we're finishing out with rushing props. This one has yet to fail me now. I think it did 1 week, but Drake May's rushing total is 36.5. Take the over, baby. Run that ball, Drake May. They are going to need you to do that out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's hit every single week. Is over on the rush yards is hit all postseason. So I would bet again on it.
All right, Ken Walker, 74.5 rush yards. I am taking an under on this one. I know there's no Charbonnet, but 74, 75 yards against a Mike Vrabel defense in the Super Bowl. I'm not seeing that happening. What's your talk? What's your take? You want to take the over, don't you? I can sense it in your veins.
I would really be interested to see what his total yards would be, including receiving.
So that is at 100 and hold on. That's a bet. Let me tell you it.
I like that one better because I have a little more faith in some screens and some catches with his dynamic abilities to rack up yards. Because I think he will be heavily involved in their offense. That's a hard one to say with his rushing ability against a great running defense right now.
Yeah, I get that. I'm pulling that up right now. Actually, as we say,
if it's 100, I'm definitely taking the over on his total yards.
It's a little over 100. I saw it. Hold on. It is. Give me that rushing and receiving. There it is. It is 103.5.
I'm taking the over on. I'd feel better about the total yards than I would the rushing yards.
Just in case he busts out a screen for you.
Yeah, I mean one screen and you're done. You nailed the bet. You know what I mean?
Yep. All right, I like that. Okay, the next one we have for rushing is Sam Darnold, 6.5 rush yards. Earlier in the week, I turned my nose up at this and was like, ugh. But last week, he had 1 or 2 rushes that covered this in itself.
Okay, so I'll take the over. I'll take the over.
One broken play, and he covers this, and he's projected to get at least 2 rushes in this game. So I think the over hits on that. He gets 1 broken play where he rushes for 10 yards in a first down.
Okay, I'll take the over on that as well.
We're agreeing a lot here. This is sketchy. Ramondre Stevenson, rush yards, 50.5 yards over under. Kyle, what are you taking?
I'm taking the under on this one.
Yep, me too.
We are agreeing on a lot.
I know, me too. The reason for that, I mean, the defense is so phenomenal. And then
elite run defense, and Stevenson, this offensive line has not done enough to say they can run for well on
You
him.
ready? You ready? How we're gonna flip that though? Ramondre Stevenson's rushing and receiving total 75.5, which I would take the over on.
I like
He's
your
been
net.
there.
I like your last one here, Trevion Henderson. He's
Yeah,
only got 17.5 yards.
yeah. And so if
I
you get, yep.
I would take the over on that.
So the reason for that is Vegas is thinking that every week they push more and more volume and targets to Ramondre Stevenson, and since he hasn't fumbled, he's really gotten a large majority of the share, and he looks simply better. But in a game like this,
Henderson's a bigger play threat.
not recently,
Oh,
but
he's
in a
got
game
way
like
more
this,
speed than
here's the
Stevenson.
here's the difference. It's 1/3 of the yards. That's the difference maker right there. It's literally
Hmm.
exactly 1/3 of the yards that he needs to
Yeah.
get.
And going
Um,
back to what you said about performances and Super Bowls in the past, a lot of times there is a knight in shining armor that just emerges for the team
like
that
James
is
White,
not their stud. Yes.
many years. And then you ready for
This
this? I
could
didn't
be
even
a
see this one.
Henderson game.
The rushing and receiving total for Travion Henderson is 24.5. So he gets one or two screenplays, one or two rush play that busts out, that hits as well.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So
That is our
I could see for New England any one of their random receivers having a good game, and Travion Henderson is what I like for some breakouts that you could buy low here. And for the Hawks, Shaheed again, he had that big bomb, I think, last week that I called. He needed to be involved. He got a couple shots involved there. And then
Shaheed
anyone,
catches is over under is 1.5. So if he gets two catches, that hits, but it's minus 148. And receiving yards is 29.5 for Rashid
ooh,
Shaheed.
I'd probably take the yards just because he could
If
have
he gets
one
one
catch for
play.
40 yards or
Yeah.
39 or whatever. So I like that. And then also like Barner or one of the Seattle's tight ends could outperform.
Yeah, they could. They could absolutely. But now it's a lot of people. A lot of head. Not everyone's gonna get there, but nope, I agree with you on that. Awesome. Yeah, the one I like the most, Drake May rushing and JSN over 6.5 catches. Give me those two in a parlay with the Patriots plus 7.5 alt line. You got yourself some money right there, folks. Okay, we are moving on. We're done with the betting analysis, done with the betting breakdown. Let us know what you think to the player props or the lines. Kyle, let's dive a little bit deeper into this matchup as we wrap things up.
Yeah, I mean, the I would be most concerned with New England's offensive line against this defense. Can they protect May enough? And can they run the ball enough to stay balanced and effective offensively? Is probably the biggest concern there. I still think they'll be able to make some plays regardless, just because of May's talent and the offensive coordinator there, Josh McDaniels. They've been having a lot of success, you know, no matter what, right? Some
Yep.
success, even against an elite defense against Denver at Denver on a snowy day. So, but I do think that was their lowest scoring game of the season, probably.
Yeah, definitely was. Just
Um,
to echo that a little bit, the Patriots let up 48 sacks this year, which is my only concern about this game. Where if he gets hit on a couple of drives, where all of a sudden it's 2nd and 18, and it happens more than once, and they're set back, it's like that's where I see there being issues. But again, I think he'll be able to use his legs to escape when needed.
and they get turnovers. We've said Stevenson has been great, but again, against another elite defense, he could easily cough it up once or twice. And then you could
Yeah.
see Henderson in, and then you could see those bets really hit.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
Seattle, I think that you just got to protect Darnold and let your team do what it's been doing all year, right? You've got good weapons, getting the ball to JSN, Kenny Walker, running it with him and getting him the ball in space, using your tight ends to move the chains. Big play threat, Rashid Shaheed, good special teams play, and then having an elite defense that's going to hopefully get you a couple of turnovers and win the, positive field type thing is kind of what they've been doing in playing sound football, other than getting around Sam Darnold's turnovers every single week.
Yeah, I mean, and you hit on the head an issue and why Sam Darnold hasn't blinked. He has yet to face this pressure that he faced last year when he was with Minnesota. So this team has got to get pressure in his face. And the Patriots only have 35 sacks this year. Not great, not terrible, but they need to get in his face if they want to rattle his cage. Otherwise, he's going to go back to doing what he's doing out there.
Yeah, and they've had one guy who's been pretty clutch in the postseason for getting after the quarterback on that defensive line. I just don't know if it's going to be enough, though, right? Denver's defensive line is definitely better at getting to the quarterback.
Yeah,
The
they are.
Rams defensive line is usually better at getting to the quarterback, and they struggled, I think, in both recent matchups against Seattle getting to Darnold.
Yep, they did. They absolutely did.
So I think you're going to have to do some blitz packages, and he has known to falter with a lot of zone coverages. right? We've seen him throw it to defenders that he doesn't see. So I think a lot of zone blitzing and zone defense is, maybe also keeping somebody on JSN at all times is probably what I'd be looking at from a defensive coordinator standpoint.
Yeah, if you don't double him or at least have a safety shadowing over him, I don't know what you're doing because that's he gets 60, 50% of the target share. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
and
like, what are
then
we
you just
doing?
gotta keep an eye on the big play threat of Shaheed, which is hard to do all the time, right?
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
they're going to work between the 20s and move the ball with some running, some balanced offense, and some tight end catching, and then you shut them down in the red zone, like that's the best way for New England to win, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yep. I like it. I like it a lot, baby. You got anything else on this Super Bowl matchup?
Uh, I mean, this is a Super Bowl where either team, these are either of the teams that I would prefer to win. I had the last few weeks, I've had the Rams going, so I would have liked to have seen them. Devonta Adams get a Super Bowl would be cool. Outside of that, I mean, you always have the commercials to look forward to, right? And then your bets. So, are
You're
you
not
ready
very
for,
excited.
are
You're
there
not
any
very.
commercials you're looking forward to?
How would I? You know what I miss? The old E-Trade baby commercials.
Those are good. Those are
I haven't
good.
seen one of those where they're talking like adults at the dinner table. I want to let's see one of those come back, and then that's all I need.
I think I saw a preview of the Coca-Cola bear and something with Pepsi. So
Oh,
I think
spoiler! Spoiler alert!
Pepsi did a teaser with that.
Oh, that could be fun. All right, I'm for it. I'm
All right,
for it.
folks, get those crock pots ready. Get your little weenies in there. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and then we can get back into fantasy football action this offseason and prepare for next year's fantasy football season. Thanks for tuning in to the Fantasy Football channel. We'll catch you guys in the next one.